I did not mention China in my remarks today, but how do you know I wasn't talking about things China did?
What's the latest from the Mike Burgess grim warning file?
Mike Burgess talked about cyber espionage and threats to critical capabilities in Australia. So think about telecommunications companies and really big networks that are considered vulnerable to cyber attack. And we talked about a group that works for the Chinese Ministry of State Security known as Volt Typhoon, and he described some of the attacks that they've launched against US infrastructure networks and targeting the US military as well. Mike Burgess did say in his speech there was evidence that this same hacking had been tried against Australian networks, but he didn't go into any specifics of what was targeted or how successful those hacking attempts may have been. But certainly Mike Burgess says that state actors or state-sponsored actors are trying to hoover up as much data as possible, but also hacking can have devastating consequences for critical infrastructure like telecommunications networks. And we've seen that described in the past as grey zone warfare, where you're launching these crippling attacks. It stops short of actual war, but it is a hostile act by foreign powers.
Victoria has a youth crime problem, and Premier Jacinta Allan revealed her solution today.
Adult time for violent crime.
If you're thinking that line sounds familiar, it could be because Victoria's Labor Premier has taken a leaf from the Queensland Liberal National Party playbook.
Adult crime, adult time.
That's LNP leader David Crisafulli being tough on crime last year to win an election, and we all know how that turned out. Now, I'm sure Premier Jacinta Allan's newfound tough-on-crime approach has nothing to do with the fact Victoria has a state election next year.
I want adult time for violent crime to commence as soon as possible.
But let's put that aside and take a look at the pros and cons. Pro, more likely jail time and longer sentencing for kids 14 and older is a stronger deterrent. And we're not talking all crimes. This is directed at teens who commit violent home invasions, carjacking, and serious and repeat aggravated burglary and armed robbery. Now, one of the big cons here, according to advocates, is it ignores a basic tenet of youth justice, that child criminals are often victims themselves. But Jacinta Allan is prioritising the victims of crime.
There are too many victims and not enough consequences.
And with the Victorian public fed up with youth gangs running amok, I reckon voters might agree with their Premier's priorities.